Well, home is where the heart is, and Sydney FC are enjoying being back at Allianz Stadium, even if the result against Victory here in round one did not go their way. The Sky Blues got back on track last week, however, against the champions Western United, and today they will look to build momentum, looking for a first win here since April 2018. And they've actually now lost each of their last three home league matches. Never in the 17-year history of the competition have they lost 4 on the spin on their own turf. Here's the team news. The Sky Blues go with an unchanged 11. Jack Rodwell and Alex Wilkinson not quite yet ready to return, so Aaron Gerd gets consecutive starts alongside James Donachie in central defence. Adam Lafondra has made a habit of scoring against the Reds. 7 goals in 10 games, his joint best return against any A-League outfit. Robert Max seeking to join an exclusive club of players who scored in each of their first 3 games for Sydney, a list that contains only Joel Griffiths, Dwight York and Lafondra. Adrian Segicic returns from international duty on the bench, which also features potential debutant Jake Girdwood-Reich. Now the Reds make 2 changes, one enforced with Lockie Barr picking up a foot injury in training on Friday. Alexander Popovic returns after gastro to partner former Sydney FC defender Ben Warland. Fellow ex-Sky Blue Harry van der Sark starts on the right flank, with Ben Halloran switching to a more central role. George Blackwood drops to the bench. Zach Clough, Bernardo and Josh Cavallo all on the casualty list, with new injury replacement signing Josh Morey not included as he got married just yesterday. So all set on a rather grey afternoon in the Harbour City, but it's dry at the moment and Sydney FC get the ball rolling. It was arguably the rivalry in the A-League in the early days of the competition. It's a bit more sedate these days than the days of Aloisi and Valkanis, Rudan and McFlynn, but it's still an important fixture, and equally so today, Grace Gill.
Thanks so much, Simon. Pleasure to be here alongside you today. And yeah, obviously Sydney looking to build on a really solid performance against Western United last weekend, and Adelaide really in search of their first 3 points of the season. Importantly, really keen to see how this one plays out today.
And just on Adelaide, a third different central defensive partnership in 3 games. They had 11 different partnerships last season. It's a real problem area, and it's that area of the pitch, is it not, that can really destabilise a side if it's not right.
Yeah, very much so, and I think in a defensive partnership you just need to take a bit of time to settle in, and it is hard when there's different bodies and different personalities alongside you each week, so that'll be a point to keep an eye on for this afternoon.
Will look to build through their Spaniard, or one of them anyway. Isaias, here's another in Javi Lopez. And Sydney struggling to backtrack, still Lopez. It's going to be a corner for Adelaide United, but Sydney FC have got an injury concern over Luke Bratton, and he looks in real discomfort. Only just back, of course, the Sky Blue skipper after a 10-month absence. Here's how it happened.
Yeah, looked to perhaps be the trailing leg there of Lopez. Concerning signs for Bratton. You just mentioned the injury recovery he's come off the back of. We had a bit of a chat to him before the game about that, and just he spoke about how much he's enjoying just being back around the squad and back around the boys, so really hope he can run that one off over the next couple of minutes.
Javi Lopez's effort earns this corner, delivered by Goodwin and helped on towards that back post very intelligently by Ben Warland, who was looking for the opportunity to score against his former club, and he wasn't that far off. Here comes Ryan Kitto trying to trick his way through, and he's done so! What a goal from Ryan Kitto! Not a regular goal scorer by any stretch for the Reds. He only scored 1 last season. He's equal that total already this. That's a super finish. And Adelaide lead probably against the run of play.
Oh, what an individual bit of effort there on the Harvey Norman replay. Ryan Kitto has danced his way through 3 defenders outside of the left boot there to tuck that one past Redmayne, but absolutely against the run of play. A beautiful finish. And what a tidy slot away that is for Adelaide United from Kitto.
Well, the twinkling toes of Ryan Kitto bamboozling the Sydney FC defence. And hey, the finish ain't bad either. Redmayne, no chance. Adelaide 1-0.
Just caught Sydney FC sleeping there for a moment and absolutely against the run of play. Sydney will be really disappointed with that.
Just on Tristan's point, he has got a point in terms of the chances created. Adelaide had probably had the better of things. It was just that in the immediate few minutes before that opening goal, Sydney had been well on top. Lopez squares it up for Van der Sar. Adelaide looking to threaten again. It's Goodwin. And Van der Sar, oh, reflex stopped by Andrew Redmayne is outstanding to push it over the crossbar, because that came at him very, very quickly.
That was an excellent save there from Redmayne, and Goodwin to pick this pass, just to hold it up, the patience to find Van der Sar, and on a dime, that's a brilliant save, but what a good look there from Adelaide United.
The outswinger misses out Isuzu, and Van der Sar threw himself at it, and again he's not too far off.
That's a confident header there by Van der Sar, beautifully timed. He's just met the ball right on arrival and hasn't managed to do enough to get that one down. Caceres had good pressure on him, just put him off enough.
Paulo Retro remains on the sidelines for now. There's Harry Van der Sar. Been very busy. Lovely ball by Halloran. And Isuzu struck it cleanly enough, but just too much elevation.
Smooth there from Isuzu. Nice strike, but hasn't managed to get his head, his chest just over the top of the ball enough. That was a lovely build-up there from Adelaide United.
Yazbek. Caballo. It's got away though from Caceres, who then commits the foul.
Lost a boot in the process too there. But some better signs in the midfield there from Yazbek. Caceres has just clipped the heel on that occasion and the boot's gone flying. But as I was saying, Yazbek, when he gets on the ball and drives through that Sydney midfield, some good creative measure in there, and just looking to try and pierce through those defensive lines.
Done a bit of damage to that boot of Javi Lopez. I'm not sure that's going to stay on. Replacements required. Had such a good season last year. Probably the one constant in the Reds backline that was otherwise ever changing. There's the national team coach, Graham Arnold. Need to keep an eye on his World Cup prospects. There's a massive tear in those boots. This is going to be a booking for Isuzu. Oh, it's more than that. It's a straight red for the Reds, number 9. Wow. Certainly a foul. Certainly it's hurt Caceres. Is it the right decision? Let's have a look. Oh, I don't think it's a red card. Maybe you disagree.
Look, I think VAR will have a look at this. Isuzu surely has connected with the studs rather, but it's been when he's sliding through after that challenge. To my eye, there's no real intent behind that, and I know intent is not the determination, malice is not the determination of the law, but I do think VAR are going to have another look at this one.
It's Kurt Ams in VAR today. It's certainly a foul. I think it's certainly a yellow card, but I'm not sure it's a red. Well, it's been upheld, and Adelaide are down to 10. And I guess what Kurt Ams has to decide, amongst other things, is whether there's enough of a clear and obvious error to overturn it. I mean, he does lunge for the ball a bit, and yeah, the studs are a bit high. I don't know. I think that's a little bit harsh, I have to say. But that's just me. Redwig Steve doesn't quite know what to make of it. Wow. Well, that was quite some first half. Adelaide with a couple of shots early. They'd certainly had a good spell before Ryan Kitto put the Reds in front with a super finish. And the big talking point is Daniel Elder's decision to dismiss Hiroshi Ibusuki for what he deemed to be a red card challenge. 5 minutes before the half-time whistle. The discussions continue. Sydney still have it all to do, but they'll do it in the second half with the man advantage. At the break, Sydney FC 0, Adelaide United 1. We get the ball back rolling. Big 45 minutes, not just for Adelaide, who are looking for their first win of the season, remember. But also for Sydney, after the promise of last week, Grace Gill against Western United. The last thing they need is to suffer another home defeat, particularly against 10 men.
Yeah, undoubtedly Steve Corica will be looking to get his side back into this game and that all-important momentum from the result against Western United. It's important to build on top of that.
Ryan Grant colliding with Ben Halloran. Oof. Yeah, that looked a bit painful. Craig Goodwin greasing the ball up on the surface and measuring out a very purposeful stride. And the ball flashes across the face. Kitto went to ground. It's going to go all the way out for a throw-in.
Not quite the strike on that occasion. Shot for a throw-in, that classic one there.
Just the one shot on target for the home side. There's that nice combination down the right-hand side for the Reds. Meantime, chance here for Lolly. All square. Joe Lolly scores in consecutive matches, feeling perfectly at home down under. And it's his first in front of the Sydney FC fans. 1-1.
Well, Joe Lolly, we spoke just moments earlier about that combination, Sydney FC on the Harvey Norman replay. He's moved over to the left-hand side of the field this half, and it's a brilliant run through, taking it on his preferred left foot. And there's nothing an outreach Joe Gauchi can do on that occasion. It's a beautifully struck, well put away goal from the experienced striker.
Bratton. Kitto nips in ahead of Lolly. Wood. Grant had continued the run. Shut down for now by Warland at the expense of a corner. All hands on deck for the Reds. Worked short by Lolly. Caceres. Adelaide a bit slow to push out. Bratton loops it in across the face, and Wood on the volley. Slices his effort wide.
Oh, you think Wood almost deserves that goal. He's been instrumental since he came on. It's a really clever header back across the face of the goal from Gerd, but Wood just can't redirect that one goalward. But he's been really impactful since coming on for Lafondro early in the first half.
It's wave after wave of Sky Blue attack at the moment. Deflection in the box favoured Popovic. Lifted back in towards Ryan Grant, who nods it across the face, and Patrick Wood could not miss this time. It's 2-1 Sydney FC. They've come from behind, and the 10 men now have it all to do at Allianz.
Well, there it is. There's the goal there for Patrick Wood. A deserved goal. Hard work in the moment since he came on for Le Fondre. 15 years Le Fondre's junior is Patrick Wood. And he's been really, really influential on the Harvey Norman replay. It's a beautiful touch there from Ryan Grant. And as every good striker does, Patrick Wood is in the right position. That's an easy tap away, but well worked by Sydney FC.
Well, it's that trademark run of Ryan Grant that does all the damage, and Patrick Wood just about managed to get back on side for that nod back across the face. Isuzu. Hard not to feel some sympathy for Adelaide though, Grace. They were so good in that first half for large parts. Deservedly in front, in my book. The red card has changed the complexion of the game. Goodwin. Drop to the shoulder, gets away from Yazbek. And the cross is a good one, and they're level! Van der Sark against his old club doesn't celebrate in front of the Cove, but it is 2-2.
Well, a respectful celebration there from Van der Sark, and understandably so. But for me, it's the architect behind this goal. The work from Craig Goodwin that we saw here on the Harvey Norman replay. The little fake on the first one, and then his non-preferred right foot, but that is a beautiful delivery and a well-timed run into the box from Van der Sark. The muted celebration, the respectful celebration from the striker. But Adelaide are back on level terms here.
It's a useful ball over the top. Caballo in towards Wood, couldn't reach it. Joe Lolly. First attempt and then left a foot in on Gauci. And the frustration grows for the home team. Joe Lolly being watched by his father in the stands this afternoon. He's flown over from the UK.
Somehow that ball evaded Adelaide United's defensive line, and Kitto almost beaten to the ball there by Lolly.
Halloran arriving. Runs into traffic, but the Reds will continue. Here's Goodwin. Cross took a deflection on. Andrew Redmayne having to backpedal furiously to keep that one from looping over his head and into the net.
It was a great driving run to get things moving from Aaron Kunda.
Here's a chance. Patrick Wood. Oh, great save, Joe Gauci. Brilliant action at both ends. Here's that Adelaide chance some moments ago at the other end. Well, you call it a chance, it was a cross that sort of looped up and almost deceived the goalkeeper.
And end-to-end stuff here too. Here's that Patrick Wood chance, and great defending by Gauci. He's gotten down well, made himself big.
Only led today for a total of 5 minutes before Harry Van der Sark pegged them back at 2-2. Here's Wood. Might have been a foul in there, yeah. Daniel Elder brings them back. Just waited for a second to see if any advantage would accrue. Let's see if they got this routine worked out a bit better.
Another good driving run there by Lolly, and
Caballo is there as well. It is going to be Luke Bratton, and it's just a fraction too high. Good effort.
Not a bad look there for Luke Bratton, a little wry smile as he's walked away from that shot. It's just gone over the crossbar. Joe Gauci perhaps had it covered too. He's fairly central in the end.
Segicic. Clean take by Gauci.
Solid hands there by Gauci, and he had to be. Here's another look at that challenge. Halloran's come through pretty late on that one.
Oh, to be at this post-game press conference. Could be as fiery as the game itself. Are we going to find a winner? Segicic into the box. Wood on the turn, off balance, and ultimately off target. Daniel Elder is issuing a yellow card in back play to Ben Halloran, I think, for that challenge on Luke Bratton. It's taken him a while to get around to him.
It's Popovic and Wood who came off equally worse for wear in that challenge, against each other just moments away.
I'll make that 5 yellow cards issued, 1 red and 1 for the Adelaide coach as well. Adelaide want to send on George Blackwood. For Ben Halloran, who's being ushered off on the far side of the ground, told to get on his way. Former Sydney FC striker George Blackwood, who began his career here with the Sky Blues, is on for, well, a matter of seconds probably. Barely have time to get a sweat on. Is there one final chance for either of these two teams? Spin might favour Adelaide here. It's George Blackwood who threads it through. It's Nestori Iraconda, and he went around the goalkeeper, but the touch was too heavy. That was the moment for the Reds. They could have nicked it.
Iraconda, just that extra touch in there. He's let himself down there.
And despite the urgings of the home fans, Sydney cannot build a final attack. The boos ring out around Allianz. It was some game. Intense, I think, being the key words. Ryan Kitto gave Adelaide the lead in the first half. They looked pretty good up until the big talking point when Hiroshi Ibasuki was dismissed for a challenge on Anthony Caceres. In the second half, Steve Corica's team came out firing. 2 goals in 5 minutes from Joe Lolly and substitute Patrick Woods. But Harry van der Sarg, with a header against his former club in front of the Cove, earns a share of the spoils for the Reds, who had to work mighty hard for that. They might have even nicked it at the end, but for Iraconda's errant touch. Sydney frustrated again at their rebuilt home. Adelaide claimed their second draw in 3 games, although they remain winless in season 22-23. What a game, plenty of talking points. Sydney FC 2, Adelaide United 2.